Southeast youths plan to dump refuse at government house in retaliation for Soludo's attack on Obi. Wow. We need to see what this is leading to in the Southeast. A Southeast Youth Group, Coalition of Southeast Youth Leaders, COSEYL, has condemned the Anambra State Governor, Professor Chukwuma Soludo, for his attack on the presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Mr. Peter Obi. COSEYL, in a press release signed by its President General, Mr. Goodluck Ibem, said that Soludo, through his utterances on Obi, has denigrated the entire Igbo and must be made to pay for it. The group in the release said, "Our members have met over the unfortunate and unguided statement by Soludo over Peter Obi and have decided to bring him back to his senses by declaring Friday, 25th November 2022 as a day where all Anambrarians will carry their refuse, debris, and dump them at the gate of Anambra State Government House. This will serve as deterrent to other Igbo political office holders who might want to insult the sensibility of the Igbo nation." The group, while analyzing the comment by Soludo on Obi, said it wants the entire world to know that Soludo's unguided statement against Peter Obi is his personal opinion and not the opinion of his own family. Okay, it's his personal opinion and opinion of his own family. His own biological son said Peter Obi is the best presidential candidate, which is contrary and directly opposite to his father's statement. Governor Soludo is standing alone on his attack against Peter Obi, and anyone who might have paid him for such a hatchet job should go and collect his money back from him, because his statement does not hold any water whosoever or whatsoever. It further stated that dumping refuse in the house of anyone who committed sacrilege against his people is a traditional way of disciplining and teaching lessons to anyone found wanting in Igbo land. It added that the statement by Soludo and the audacity with which he spoke against Mr. Peter Obi, the Labour Party presidential candidate, portrayed him as a man who felt that he is above God and Anambra people who elected him as governor. Wow. It is very unfortunate that Anambrarians elected a misfit with the title of a professor as governor, and the error has to be corrected immediately. Without mincing words, Soludo insulted the sensibility of Anambra State and the entire Igbo nation by his misguided statement against Mr. Peter Obi. Soludo just confirmed to the world that he lacks common sense. 4 years is too long to wait for a man who has no vision to lead the good people of Anambra State that have enough intelligent people, both home and abroad. It will be an insult to Indian Anambra to wait for 4 years for Soludo to complete his tenure, which was given to him by the people. The group called on Anambra State House of Assembly to do the right thing by impeaching Governor Charles Soludo immediately, claiming Anambra is too blessed to have such a character as governor. Wow. So these people are out to teach Governor Soludo a lesson. They said they are going to, on the 25th of November 2022, which is on Friday coming, they are going to the gate of the government house to dump refuse. That is a traditional way of dealing with somebody who is out of his senses or who commits sacrilege against the people and the land. Wow, so meaning that activity is sacrificial. This group called themselves Coalition of Southeast Youth Leaders. All right, COSEYL, Coalition of Southeast Youth Leaders. So they have now written, to the governor and to tell him that what he has done is rubbish and will not be tolerated. All right, through their President General, Mr. Goodluck Ibem, who now is speaking on behalf of the group. All right, so what I'm saying is that by November 25th, 2022, they will go and dump refuse in front of the government house gate. to let him know that he has committed sacrilege and need to retrace his steps. He needs to be guided going forward. That's saying that Anambra people is too blessed for them to leave Soludo after electing him, to leave him to commit all this sacrilege for the next 4 years before they teach him lesson, or probably he will go away with all he has done and think that life is straightforward. All right. So instead of waiting for 4 years for him to finish and go before they take action, they are taking the action today. All right. And what they're saying, the action is to tell Indigbo, Anambra, the entire Igbo nation, and people, the entire world that, the statement Soludo made is by himself and by his family alone. All right. And that Indigbo, it does not represent the Indigbos in that sense and in that character. All right, that the truth is what he has said is for himself, not Indigbo. And nobody should, and that statement he made and all the bad things he has said about Peter Obi is actually a sacrilege and offense against the sense of Igbo nation, and will obviously not be tolerated. And the started example where Soludo's son, biological son, has accepted Peter Obi as the most eligible candidate for presidency come 2023. So why is his father, as a governor in the government house, doing something different and saying something different against Peter Obi, who is from the extraction where he came from as well, and from the same state for that matter? All right. So he didn't need to do all of that. He could have been better. He kept quiet than coming out to say something that will get people angry and get people infuriated. Okay, so now some people have their comments. Let's share a bit of those comments as well, and let's see what people are saying about it. Somebody saying, which Southeast youth say unknown gunmen and IPOB members who have become obedient? You can't get such idiots from ABGA or other political parties. Can you imagine? I'm sure somebody, this guy is a an Igbo name, so this was somebody from the Soludo's camp that is saying something different. It means that that day that they want to dump that refuse at the front of government house, they should prepare for war. Because I see a situation where they will use the Bubago to go and stand there, or it's a government house, so they might use the army, the police, and the and the navy or whoever, military task force, to go there and wait for them and to deal decisively with them if they carry out that act. I'm waiting for Soludo's reaction to this, because definitely people going to do that should get ready for a bloody outing, because something must happen. Something will definitely happen when they are doing that action. Sensible people are not in your ABGA of today. That is what somebody is responding to that comment again. All right? So sensible people are not in ABGA anymore. The sensible people have left ABGA to other parties. Somebody said, these Igbo youth conceal have lost their senses, rude, intolerant, abusive, hatred rules their heart. What are they doing about IPOB, ESN, or non-government? Southeast economy is ruined. Is Soludo they are harassing, threatening, and blackmailing? I hope they will not cause problem for Nigeria if Obi lose the election. Can you imagine? And somebody have told him you don't have common sense. How can you say that? All right? How can you talk about unknown government and all of this in the Southeast? The Southeast, what they did actually is just that we don't want to, there's no community without unscrupulous elements, I agree. But what happened in Southeast is more than that, because the Fulanis actually went there with their cattle, were causing problems. The government refused to provide the required level of security to stop the mayhem that the Fulanis are conducting in the Southeast. And so they choose to take the laws into their hands by protecting themselves. And now they are seen as unknown government, and it became a kind of action and counter actions between Nigerian government and the Igbo people. And that is why they sent the military they have sent there to annihilate the entire Igbo, ranging from what they did in Olo in Imo State to the rest of Imo State, Abia State, Anambra State, and all those places. All right, and some of the governors who are just political sycophants migrated from their parties PDP to APC just to help perpetuate all of this. All right, and that is why Governor Hopu Sodima allowed an emir to be installed in an Igbo land. Can you install Obi in Hausa land? They will burn down the place and kill everybody that same night. All right, but Governor Hope Uzodinma allowed an emir to be established in Imo State, which is very bad. So this is what is happening. A coalition of Igbo youth leaders have said they are going to dump refuse in the front of Anambra State Government House come Friday, 25th November 2022 to teach Soludo lesson, and also a traditional way of disciplining somebody if they commit sacrilege against Igbo land. So let's see how that will play out. Let's just be careful so that we don't give Peter Obi bad name. Peter Obi has been very clean. Peter Obi is obviously not sending these people. Whatever everybody is doing or anybody is doing to support Peter Obi is out of self-determination and self-sacrificial, self-service and support. All right, it is not Obi that is sending people to do anything, so that people will not go and say Obi is sending people to cause confusion. People need to be aware all over the country that Peter Obi doesn't even know who is supporting him at this moment. He's overwhelmed. Sometimes when he sees the crowd trooping out for him, he's short of words. He doesn't know what to say. All right. So nobody should say Peter Obi is sending anybody to go do anything. That is just what the warning I want to send out to everybody. So whatever action anybody is taking, they are responsible for the action. For Peter Obi or not for Peter Obi, they are responsible for the action. But the outcome of that action, they should also take the responsibility as well. All right. Nobody should stain Peter Obi because they're looking for a way to drag Peter Obi in the mud. So thank you for listening, and let's have your comment below.